Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Next Issue podcast for today. I'm broadcasting from inside because Texas was like, "That's some nice weather you're having. It'd be a shame if somebody made it really, really cold."
It is
Um,
cold.
Overnight, it just dropped down through the 30s again, and I'm like, "Well, I guess I'll stream from indoors today." How's everybody doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Great, good to hear. We have a really fun show today. I think we're gonna go over Marvel's big week. They had a lot of stuff happening, right, kicking off with the Super Bowl and dropping some trailers. Did you guys watch any of the other Super Bowl trailer stuff?
Yeah.
I feel like we had seen some already. I don't think there was any that were there weren't a lot of really new ones. It was more like, hey, you want to see some more? Go
Yeah.
online.
Twisters was, I think, a new brand.
Oh
new
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
I love Twisters. I love the first movie. The first movie is
Me
one of
too.
my favorite movies.
Yeah, same here. In our household, that's a regular watch if we're just like, hey, let's put on Twister.
I also
Yeah.
really like that film.
Bill
I
Paxton.
feel there's got to be a cameo, right? A Helen Hunt cameo at some point in the movie.
I think there is. I think she is in it.
I
don't know.
had read that she had wanted to do it, had an idea, and the studio turned her idea down and then came back with another idea, and then she said no.
Oh,
But I
really?
would
Oh, okay.
think she would want to. But I mean, if she was turned down from her original idea, I'm curious if she would want to go back at all. But there might be a good payday in it.
Yeah.
Also, I get her confused a lot with Jodie Foster. I feel like they just kind of look very similar. I think the movies they make are very different, but they just
Oh yeah, very different.
but they just appear like I always have to check. Wait, is it Helen Hunt or is it Jodie Foster? Like I don't know.
I'm mentally replacing them with the other in like all their stuff. So like Jodie Foster's in Mad About You for like
It would be
million
a
seasons.
completely different movie and a different tone with Jodie Foster.
Especially if you've been watching True Detective season 4.
Yes, it's
Badass.
so
Yes.
good. Do you guys want to spend a few minutes talking about it?
Curmudgeon Jodie Foster was not something I needed to see this year, but I'm glad it's happening.
Also, she's very horny for the Doctor.
For everything, really. Anything. I guess maybe that's life in Alaska. I don't know. What, like when it's always night for 30 days?
Oh.
Is that what that book 30 Days of Night is about? Just like
Yes,
people randomly hooking up?
in Haro, is it Haro?
On vampires.
Yeah, but horny vampires.
Horny I mean, I think
It's also Twilight.
But yeah, Twister looks good. I like the cast. I'm a big fan of Glenn Powell. I'm like, okay, this dude,
he's great in that Top Gun movie. I can't think of any other movies off the top of my head with him in it.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, still haven't
but
seen
he's
it.
great in Top Gun.
I know when I log into Paramount and there's like all this Tom Cruise stuff, it just kind of turns me off. It's like the Scientology channel.
Like, did Daniel freeze?
Yeah, he froze.
Yeah, he did. It's not us for once.
But they just uploaded all. I think all the Mission Impossibles to Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And I've missed the last handful. So I'm glad that I'll finally get a chance to go through and just watch them one by one.
I've only ever seen the first one.
The first one's great, I think. I think the first one's great. It's I forget who directed it. It's what's his name? But
fuck, the second one is John Woo.
Yeah.
The second one's John Woo, and it's a little ridiculous. And I think the third is
damn, who? Christopher McQuarrie?
Oh.
He's the one that's directed the last handful. He's Tom Cruise's like director to go to director.
The first one's Brian De Palma, and
Brian De Palma. Yeah, so that's what I was like. It's like this really big. It's a good thriller. Like there's some silliness with the face taken off and stuff like that, but it's like a really solid movie.
But that was the show. I mean,
the
whole bit was like, here's a mission no one should know about. Someone's going to be in a mask at some point in the show. What's going to happen?
It's an impossible mission.
But I will tell you, what you will get tired of is there's no real mission in Mission Impossible. It's always the same. there's a secret infiltrator in our midst, and we don't know who it is. And that's almost like every Mission Impossible. So
really?
you got to figure out who's the bad guy. Who am I looking for? You know. And then meanwhile, Tom Cruise is holding on to the side of a plane or jumping a bike off a cliff. And then
I guess it is what. Yeah, there's the inside mole we have to dig out, and there's nukes somewhere in the world.
Also. It was like watching 24. When you would watch Jack Bauer, they'd be like, "Jack, we think there's a mole in TCU."
That's the only thing I hated about. I'm sorry to cut you off. 24 is I needed an hour of him stuck in traffic. I needed 2 hours of him stuck in traffic. If that show is going to be told in real time, he better be pooping sometime, and he better be like stuck in traffic where they're like calling him. He's like, "I'm going through a drive-through," you know. I need it to be real.
In 7 seasons, 24 hours at TCU, we never ever saw the bathrooms. Ever.
It's not a true 24. Like 6 hours of that show should be him sleeping. It should just be him yeah.
What would be funny is if they brought back 24 and every once in a while you just see people just going just on their phone for a whole hour wasting time. Are you back, Daniel?
Yeah. No, it looks like you. Oh, I thought you froze again.
No. I always figure whenever you saw Eliza Douche. No, what's her name? Eliza. What was her daughter's name?
From 24. What is her name? The blonde girl.
Yeah, I always figure whenever she was on screen.
Cuthbert.
Eliza
Cuthbert.
Thank you. Yeah.
I always figure whenever she was on screen, that's when Jack was pooping. Because you cut away to
when the mountain lion was attacking her, Jack was just on the toilet.
That's right.
That would be great though if they cut he was just stepping into the bathroom and they cut the scene to somebody else because now you know where Jack is for the next 15 to 20 minutes. You know.
Yeah. So, all right. So before we talk about all the Marvel stuff, and we do have a comic review, and I have a surprise reaction at the end as well.
I really hope that Vamp becomes its own YouTube video. By the way,
the what?
The Vamp that we just did talking about 24 while you were away.
Listen, it can be. It can be anytime. Take a. I encourage you guys to drop time codes in the document. Anything you think can be clipped. Because we've been having some good ones.
It will be called Mission Impossible Scientology.
Oh boy. That's what I missed, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we went deep while you were gone.
This is what happens. The show just goes off the rails. All right, let's talk about some stuff. I'm gonna kick it over to Kyle because I don't think Kyle ever goes first.
Nope.
Yeah.
And now he's been a Sundance, so like we got a lot more credibility.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
So I ended up reading Thunderbolts #5. This is the volume 3, and I thought this was actually pretty fun. I didn't read 1 and 2, and then I had to go back and read 1 and 2. So it's Bucky trying to put together a new team to officially go kill the Red Skull. And so this one,
yeah,
and I'm like, so it starts with him with Shang-Chi actually, I guess, partnering with him. And he meets up with John Walker, the U.S. agent, in a thing. And apparently, the military has ordered Walker and this other dude, a U.S. kaiju, who has the power to become Godzilla, basically.
Yeah.
You'll kill, and so basically, you have Shang-Chi who's trying to take down. They're basically trying to stop them because they don't realize Walker and the U.S. kaiju don't realize the orders that came from are been for the Red Skull.
Not to be confused with Kid Kaiju, who can turn into any kaiju that he wants. U.S. kaiju can only turn into Godzilla-like kaiju
with a big red flag.
Yeah. Like picture the guy from The Punisher, but like instead of the flag on his face, it's just like on his chest.
Oh.
Anyway, so Shang-Chi's able to take out Walker, but before Bucky can stop U.S. kaiju. The Red Skull basically hacks into his mind and makes him turn into the gigantic kaiju. And so basically, I think it's, so Shang-Chi gives Bucky this magical orb that allows him to grow into the size of a kaiju. So there's a big Bucky versus U.S. kaiju battle in New York. And they're able to contain him. And and then basically Walker ends up joining the new Thunderbolts. And so basically, and what's kind of funny is they're, what's her name? Dreyfus's character from MCU.
Oh yeah.
Al?
Valentina Contessa something.
So I had to go back and read the first issue, and it's Bucky partnering with her, and so they're going to invade the Red Skull's castle to kill him, and they end up meeting with the new I can't remember the persona she's taken over, but it's Sharon Carter, and they invade, and there's this one henchman of the Red Skulls who tries to shoot her or stop her, and you realize her face starts opening up, and basically you realize she died in a prison like months before. And so this is her memory and persona into a new life model.
Yeah. I think her name is Destroyer, and that all happened in the previous Captain America run, which is all written by the same team. That's why they kind of keep.
Yeah, and then so like they got them, and they also have not U.S. Agent. What's his name? Nikolai. I'm blanking.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian becomes a part of the team, and the next issue is both Black Widows with Bucky invading the Hellfire Club with Kingpin as the White King. And in this one, you have, I guess I don't realize when this ever happened, but basically, Black Widow is Black Venom or something. Like she has a Venom symbiote that she's working with. So
that's new.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, and so I read all the way through. I'm like, this is actually pretty fun. I'm like, I'm gonna have to keep up with this one. So I highly recommend this one.
Yeah, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. I like their stuff. Like I said, the only one I haven't vibed with it was that the current Guardians run.
And I dig it.
Yeah, I didn't. I tried. I didn't. But the Thunderbolts, and I know they're trying to set up probably for the movie and everything. But this one's really vibing with me. So like Marvel's gotta.
These guys are also doing, I think, the Outsiders book on DC. So maybe you want to check that out because it
started, but now it's starting to.
Okay, because it seems like a similar idea of like this group on the fringe, doing crazy shit, because it got crazy. Like the first issue is fucking bonkers at the end.
Oh yeah. But it also reminds me, like, remember that in season 3 of What If we're getting that buddy cop with Bucky and Red Guardian. So
What If has become my favorite MCU series.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I was gonna say wait till X-Men. That's not technically MCU, so never mind.
It might.
Maybe.
I mean, if you look at what If is, I mean, it is just the collection of characters who've had standalone stuff running together in different scenarios. I mean, it's just so much fun. And they have almost everyone back to do the voices. And the people that aren't back, the people that were like Lake Bell does all the Black Widow stuff. She's so good. It's fantastic. And I kind of love that Age of Ultron Black Widow character she is that's survived everything. Mm-hmm. That's just so badass.
Yeah. Nice. All right. What else, Kyle?
Maybe the list. Oh, Night Thrasher Volume 2, number 1.
Now, before you get into the actual issue, can you tell us about Night Thrasher? Because I don't know what the fuck is going on there.
So, wait, current or like just his history?
The old one, like 90s Night Thrasher.
No, this is the 90s Night Thrasher.
Okay.
He's I think kind of sort of he's like a black Batman sort of.
Yeah, in a way.
He's a rich,
Okay.
It basically has rich as all hell, ends up becoming the one to fight crime. Lost his parents, raised by a friend of his dad's, and this magical Chinese woman, and basically decides to, instead of by himself, wants to form his own team. And so he ends up getting Nova, Firestar, Marvel Boy, Speedball, and Namorita, and they become the New Warriors.
Okay.
And he rides a skateboard.
One of the covers had him on a skateboard, and I was like, "Is this like a kick-ass type of character?"
No, that's his bit. He rides a skateboard.
This kick-ass by about 25 years.
Fuck yeah, thrashing, buddy.
Oh wait.
In that original New Warriors, like he would use that thing as a weapon. It was they're like attached to his back, I think, or something like that.
At the very front of it, it had a blade that would come out. You could use it to actually cut stuff. So
it was kind of cool. Like, I mean, it was the 90s, and like, of course, it
was in the 90s where basically they were trying to put, like, you had Night Thrasher, you had Moon Knight, you had, I have all these people that are trying to make him to like the Batman from Marvel. But yeah,
does Batman have a skateboard?
I bet if we looked hard enough, he probably did. But with Batman, it would be roller skates.
How many?
Yeah, he'd be Batman's a rollerblader, 100%.
Yeah, Iron Man has roller skates. Why can't Batman?
Does Robin have a scooter?
I bet he does.
It's how he gets around. Let's see.
Yeah, a razor scooter. Yeah, 100%. Razor scooters. That should be like, what kind of mode of transportation would heroes use?
Right there. Wait,
Look at this shit. It just comes out. Snicked. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. So back now to 2023 Night Thrasher. Or 2024, I guess. This year.
So basically you find out that he's been out traveling the world, wasn't going to come back, but he did because the man who raised him, Cord, was also like, it was sort of like the Alfred for the New Warriors, has passed away. And so he ends up running into I can't forget her name, his girlfriend, the girl who could travel through shadows.
Okay.
I think her name is Shadow or something like that.
Yeah. And then basically he basically says we need to speak, and so he brings everybody like for the his company are basically dismantling the Foundation, because it's like somehow it's even though the people he works with are good, the company itself is become evil, and so he's disbanding it, and they all don't want him to do it. But then he's trying to talk to them, and then all these kids who are like really well trained and everything are stealing stuff, and they run back into the sewers. So he goes to his like the secret compound, gets a new suit of armor, goes after them, and come to find out that the kids are like, he's like, what's going on here? And this big guy who almost beats the hell out of him is like the leader of the kid, and he turns around and he realizes it's Rage. I know you too. Yeah. So do you know who Rage is, Daniel?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've heard of him. So
yeah. I thought he died.
No, he's alive. At least this form of him is alive. See,
it's weird to hear that name. I'm back in the comics.
Yeah, and so basically he beats the hell out of Night Thrasher. He goes back up, sees Shadow again, and basically in its volume because we're gonna have to find out what's going on here. So it's just him having to do a new protocol for a new suit of armor or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does he still have a skateboard?
I don't think I saw it in this one.
I hope he upgrades to like one of those hoverboards or whatever they're called. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be straight up honest. The armor I think the armor he wore in this first issue is one he had before, like since the 90s. But I don't like it as much as that first one. The first one was just, I think, like his best one.
Does the art try to like I saw a little bit of the preview art, but it was only like the funeral stuff. Does it go into like looking more 90s feel when
it's more kind of current age?
Okay. Cool. Well, since you very nicely split up your comics into Marvel and DC, why don't you hit your last Marvel one and then we'll go to somebody else.
Okay. And this one I'm Spider-Man number 43 is, whereas I thought it would be the final issue, it's the first part of the conclusion for Gang War. And so it's basically you have Madame Mystique's army, or it's all Hydra or whoever, but everybody she's amassed, versus the new Beetles, which of course the new Beetle is Tombstone's daughter, and so they're all fighting. And then of course what's that?
Sorry, I was just looking at the variants.
And so basically you come in, and of course Spidey's team comes in, so it's Tombstone, She-Hulk, Spider-Woman, Daredevil, Elektra, Miles Morales, and Peter all jumping in, they're fighting, and eventually you realize that Beetle's character, her armor is weak, so they pull back a little bit with the heroes and Madame Mystique's fight, and then they go in for the kill, but then you realize that Tombstone is realizing he doesn't want his daughter to become the monster he is, so he basically stops her, and it just because it's concluded next issue, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but it's just this is the final battle in the Gang War. And I'll say that this Gang War has been a lot more fun just because it's been all out kind of 80s, just we're all out, or 90s, let me say 90s Marvel, but it's just all out. Let's have let's all these characters in, beat each other up, and I remember when the first Gang War was only 4 issues in Amazing Spider-Man back in '87. This one kind of ups the ante like 3 times. So
it feels good, I think, when Spider-Man's on like the street, like street level stuff, right? Okay, cool. Jeff, let's go to you, and then we'll just go in reverse order this time around, I guess.
Woo-hoo. Hey, who was Magneto in that Disney?
I'll do it, but it definitely wasn't.
It was the big guy that I guess he's a dog, like he hates Goofy or something, like his neighbor, Goofy's neighbor, or whatever.
Okay.
You mean Pete?
Yeah.
Pete.
Yeah, here I'll pull it back up. Yeah, I was just going through the variants, and I know they've been doing these like for the 100 years of Disney or whatever. I was not expecting that one to come out. Here you go.
I kept looking at it. It's like, who is? Lovely.
That actually works.
Now, is he a dog too, or is he a cow?
Yeah, he's a bulldog. Which technically, it depends. In the old days of Disney, he was a cat. because of Mickey, but then yeah, they made him into a dog.
Oh, because Goofy's a cow or a dog.
No, Goofy's a dog.
It's because Disney's
Some people
woke.
say he's a cow.
No, he's a dog. Especially back in the day when you had an extra Clarabelle cow, you could tell they're not the same thing.
What about
Okay.
Pluto?
Huh?
Pluto.
Who's a dog?
Oh, that's clearly a dog.
But an actual
No,
dog.
but if Goofy's a dog and Pluto's a dog, why does one talk?
Let us know in the chat. Is Goofy a dog?
He's a dog. Trust me on this one. You're gonna argue with
We can add him to the next best dogs
Media.
dog off.
I'm
Oh,
so
wow.
bummed I missed that.
USA
Yeah.
Today's got a whole article about this, which is interesting.
Why Goofy talks and Pluto's a dog and doesn't talk?
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sure there's all kinds of things on the internet about this.
Anyways, okay, Jeff.
I read the Deviant issue number 4. I just love this cover though.
I
Yeah,
actually
wow.
hated that one.
You hate the cover?
Yes,
Oh,
I don't-
damn.
I don't vibe with
I
that
love
one.
it. It's very I don't know, German expressionist kind of whatever.
Maybe that's why. It's too artsy for
Oh.
me.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good issue. That's really all I mean, this cover I think is just amazing. I just wanted to point that out. I also read issue number 6 of The Hunger and the Dusk. Did not know this was going on hiatus. I just started vibing with this book, and then at the very end of it, it says to be continued next summer. So
Now, the Deviant, I think, is also taking a break because there's nothing listed in the preview. So that means there's at least for 3 months, there's nothing out for Deviant number 5, which is supposed to be 9 issues.
Deviant's 9 issues. That's insane because I wonder if that's so they can wrap it up around Christmas of next
That's
year or
what
this
I
year.
said in my review too. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so that's good to know.
I what's it called? Skeeted at James Tinian and Joshua Hickson on Blue Sky, and they just like my
don't
post. But I
ever
asked
say
questions.
that.
What do you mean? That's what it's called. I respectfully skeeted at them, Jeff. Anyway.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Also, Clay,
Yeah.
that's a good this whole
The
moment of
terminology.
Jeff laughing. I think that's good for an intro.
Oh, yes.
I've
Okay,
marked it
got
down.
Yeah, because I was surprised that the Deviant kept going. Like I thought it was going to be like a
I
I
thought
thought it was like a
4.
one shot at first. 4 was like a thing, and then I was like, because it's a Christmas theme. It came out like early in the Christmas season,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, they're gonna wrap it up now that we're past Christmas, and it just kept going. I was like, whoa. Our Bones Dust. I know this is a big fan. You guys love this one. This thing just keeps getting more and more brutal, and I love it. I don't want to give away too much. I just the brutality in it. Not even like it's what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's not
Gore, gnarliness. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, it's good. How do you want me to break all my stuff up if you're gonna do rounds?
I tell you what. Skip to Sinister Sons, and then we can come back and do more. Or no, you know what? Let's do that one, and then we'll talk Transformers since all of us have read it, and then we'll move on to Clay from that one.
Did anybody else read this Sinister Sons?
I did.
Did you love it?
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
loved
yeah.
it.
I skimmed it. This is interesting.
Yeah, I think this is super interesting. I also think it's interesting that DC has introduced kids now for Batman, Superman, Sinestro, Zod, Wonder Woman.
This is pissing me off because I was talking with some friends, and I hate the fact they got rid of Super Sons. I really liked Super Sons as a book, and now we're giving evil Super Sons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, which is cool. So that part I like. I like that Tomasi's writing like something similar again. The art is definitely very different than Super Sons. They definitely picked an artist that has a different vibe. But I do find it very interesting that everybody's getting kids now. So
I also enjoy, and I know I remember you guys had a legacy characters episode a while back.
Yeah.
But I do like it. DC loves their legacy characters.
Oh yeah.
To a point to where I'm like, you guys, they introduced them way too quickly in succession, where like, I'm enjoying Trinity, but I'm like, we don't even know who Yara Flor is yet, kind of thing. Like but I like it when they spend their time introducing, like, they've introduced a legacy character. Now we're gonna build on them, and let them kind of.
I will say the only, I guess, not complain, but the only quandary for me, like if I was a new reader, both of these characters were introduced in completely different books, right?
Yeah.
You meet what's Little Zod's name? It doesn't matter. He was introduced in
Tiny
the
Zod.
before Zod #1, and then Sin. I think his name is Sin, right? Sinestro's kid.
Yeah.
Sin-Son, I think.
Zod I knew about. When did Sinestro have a kid?
Well, he has a daughter too.
But the only person I know she really hooked up with was Kyle.
Hey, no, Sinestro's kid. Like no, like Sinestro. Sinestro has 2 kids now. He has a son and a daughter. But anyways, like that character was introduced in the backup pages of the current Green Lantern book in a 3-part story. So like if you haven't been reading those things and you go into, which they do a pretty decent job at kind of catching you up. But still, like, what the hell?
That is true. Yeah, if you haven't been paying attention to these other things, these completely random other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I was a big fan of this, and I do like the artwork. It is kind of a little cartoony, I guess, but enjoy it.
But if you like Super Sons, I think you'll enjoy this because it's the same chemistry, kind of, but like flipped, because obviously these are more like villains.
Oh yeah.
But
I would love to see like because the new Lex Luthor has a daughter, the Brainiac daughter now in one of the Superman books. I would love to see like a kid Legion of Doom kind of thing that they could create.
Oh fuck yeah. Like they find the old ship and they take it out for a run and they start looking up old like plans that mom and dad had.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right, let's do our quick Transformers break. Because holy shit, what an issue.
Damn.
Number 5. We're gonna go into a little bit of spoilers if you haven't read Transformers. Skip ahead.
The book to read now.
Yeah, there'll be time codes. Skip ahead.
That opening scene when Sparkplug and Optimus are talking about flashbacks about being in war. I'm like going, let's a way to bond over that.
Okay, so question, especially because Kyle's here. Do all the little Constructicons have names too, like individual names? Okay.
Pressure, Hook, Scrapper, Scavenger, Long Haul, and Mixmaster.
And then they all mix together into the Devastator, which is the one we saw in the movie. We saw the Devastator, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. When we got there, I was like, "Holy shit! Hell yeah!" I like that the Transformers, they come up with that turbine to create their energy that they need, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, when we're done with this, we'll leave it for you guys, and you can power your city for like 10 years." So like they're helping as opposed to.
But I love how you've got a disemboweled Wheeljack right there at the side. You say, "Sorry, I don't have my legs, but I hope you get this going." I'm just like, fuck.
And one of my favorite things, and I'll share my screen.
Yes.
Because Starscream is unhinged.
Oh yeah.
He's my favorite character. Is he like that in G1 Transformer stuff?
Not as bad. He's not as bad.
Okay.
He's I'm trying to think of the right word. He's just more of a. I'd have to think of the word, but like he's nowhere unhinged like that. He's just more of a backstabber. But yet, if things aren't going his way, he'll bow out and like, "Save me, please! I apologize." It's like
real Ric Flair vibes. So first of all, the opening pages.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like just
that alone. Oh dear God.
So good.
Oh man! And then you get through the sad stuff, and then you go to the Decepticons, and you see like this big old punt. Like, we're not starting with your dog.
That's that
was so brutal.
Yeah, we're starting. And then he's like, I love the line here. Time for a violence party.
Yes.
And this artwork is fantastic. Like, oh my god, look at that. But you can like see the fact that you can see them transforming, like the way he draws, like you can see like a leg turning into the thing, into the plane kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Also,
it's so cool the way he's drawing that.
Now,
I mean,
my
I
other
kind of
que-
like that because it's the Cyclops Phoenix pose, it's the Superman Supergirl pose.
Yeah. So is RC always been a car? Because was she a bike in
Yeah.
the movies?
No. Well, in the movie, she was So in Transformers Prime, she was a motorcycle. In Transformers 2, The Fallen, she was actually 3 robots, but there were motorcycles.
Okay.
And then everything else, she's always been a car.
Okay, because in the Beast Wars movie, she was a bike too, right? In the most recent one.
Yeah, she was. Okay, yeah. But
Okay,
at least
cool.
body wise, she was close to her G1 form though.
That's why I was a little confused. So I love her because like she goes to rescue. What's the name of the girl? Carly. Yeah, and she's like, any friend of Optimus Prime like is worth rescuing. And I was like, damn. And then my favorite panel.
Wow.
Right out of the water. I'm like, dear God.
So good. So
But like that last panel in the last page.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess this was my favorite like non-spoilery. I'm just using some of the stuff I used for the review, but yeah, holy shit, man. Daniel Warner.
I like that the story, like the way that they fight, can also kind of mimic how like a kid would play with the toys.
Oh yeah.
And that they're kind of they kind of hinted that like they can be killed, but then they can maybe be brought back if they're not overly killed, kind of thing. Because we put them in the magic machine, and then something, there's kind of a little bit of like, we've brought RC back to life. We can bring some of these characters back to life. So there's like a little, like you're watching them destroy each other, and then you think, well, they could still kind of, even if your favorite character might still have a chance of kind of coming back, sort of.
I'll tell you this: Bumblebee better show up in the 6th issue, or I'm gonna be upset.
He dead. He dead.
Well, he's in but his body's there on the scrap of. Yeah, his body's there.
I know. It's funny. We're talking about Starscream. I was on Instagram a couple days ago, and I saw this meme. They were doing like the Scooby Gang and Cobra Commander, and you have Cobra Commander all tied up, and your friend goes over to Cobra Commander and goes, "Let's see who he really is." Takes the mask off, and a Starscream.
He draws him with such a little grin. Like it reminds me of the Robot Chicken skits.
Oh yeah.
So good.
If we were to recommend any book to anybody, at least this one needs to be read by, oh my God, especially a kid of the 80s, 90s, and all that.
All right, that's enough.
And then, that art, I can't get over that art. It's so like when you're talking about when Carly was falling and RC, like you can see that in a movie, like on a big screen in your mind.
Like the Fast and Furious wishes they could do that sequence.
100%.
Don't threaten Dom. Dom will make it happen.
I mean, he almost did with at the last scene. So, right, that's enough Transformers spoilers. Clay, we're gonna kick it over to you.
Okay, I've got a mishmash of stuff, so I kind of wanted to jump through some things. One of the books that I picked up recently was the What the parody stuff, and this is where I discovered that John Byrne is the step parent to Kieran Dwyer.
Who?
Yeah, he's a Marvel artist that started like in '87. Yeah, and then I found this little panel in here, right here, where he kind of gives a shout out to his stepson on how to pronounce his name in the comic.
Oh God!
So I was like, "That's cool." I mean, John Byrne's not the nicest guy, but maybe he was a good stepdad. Then let's see here. Do you guys collect characters, teams, and how far does that collection go? Do you? Because I picked up like some weird stuff this week from Half Price Books because this new Teen Titans has the first appearance of Atari Force in it.
Yeah, that's back in the '80s when they were doing like small preview comics in the center of the book. That's how they did one from Master Universe, and I forget what thing, but I think it was I forget, but they were doing
Blue Devil.
Yeah.
And so Shelby picked that up for me because it's got that insert. Like DC did a lot of cool inserts and stuff in comics that are the first appearances of things that are harder to find because you have to track it back to that original issue.
Also, Clay, real quick. If you want to see Blue Devil, maybe pick up the Jason Aaron Action Comics arc.
Oh yeah,
just gonna throw that out there. It's magic related.
I read that too. Yeah,
Bizarro. There you go. That's all I'll say.
I love how he's evolved.
And that ending on Action Comics, holy shit.
Yeah. I know it's on your list, Jeff. So we'll maybe talk a little more. But yeah.
But I mean, here's a couple of examples of things that are outside of the norm on some books that I actually collect that I went ahead and got. And I don't know if you've ever seen the Taco Bell run of Marvel Comics. There's like 8 comics that they put out, and Shelby happened to cross an X-Men one that I had never seen.
This was the late 90s, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
I'm only familiar with the KFC Green Lantern crossover.
Even the free comic book day stuff, I'll keep if it's got a different story in it or something that's never been in the run. I know that oh my gosh, who did it with Spider-Man? Added
Mary Jane.
No. Who was writing Spider-Man in the free comic book day special that
I don't
the
know.
first
Dan
appearance
Slott,
of Null?
Zeb Wells. I don't know.
No, I'm just having a brain fart. And even the movie tie-ins, I'll grab those, and even the TV tie-ins. So, do y'all ever pick up stuff outside the normal run, or are these just not that big of a deal?
On a rare occasion.
Yeah.
If it's cool, I'm gonna grab it.
Shelby wanted this for herself because this came out in the 90s again. Shade the Changing Man had a special insert where Death talks about AIDS and safe sex.
Oh, hell.
I know. I don't remember this from the 90s, but this was a radical move by DC to have this in their Vertigo book because, I mean, as we know, Reagan didn't want to talk about AIDS in the 80s. So a lot of it just piled up into the night, or the deaths piled up. And then as we tried to figure out what was going on, the 90s ended up being a very educational because we just did get shit from the government in the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we're getting sex talk from Death.
I mean, who would know the most?
Yeah, exactly. The rest, a lot of Guardians, a lot of Daredevil stuff I was missing to fill in some of the spots. And I also came across Alpha Flight. Alpha Flight 51 and 53. Did you guys know that was Jim Lee's first Marvel work? 51 was his first work. 53, I think, was his first cover.
Oh, nice.
So,
Those are
yeah.
all new books.
Do what?
Those are all new books you're just showing.
Yeah, I had. Well, they're the last. It goes back to the Bendis run, so it's probably like 4 runs before that because Donny Cates, that's who did showed. He had the first appearance of Null in a Spider-Man free comic book day.
Okay,
that one just came to mind. And are you guys Essentials guys?
It used to be. I sold all mine at half price books a while back.
Okay. Well, I may be picking them up because I've been buying them because I just love being able to get the backstory and getting so much quantity to it. I do love the epic ones, but I have such a massive Essentials collection that I just keep adding to them. Monica, we're doing this for comic book clubs. I'm so excited. I'm probably going to read it way early and not talk about it until comic book club. But yeah, I got a nice hardback for it.
Dan Klaus?
Yes, Daniel Klaus.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want me to go through this real quick, but Shelby came across this at her store, and it is really cool old ass stuff.
What is it?
What if I say no?
Huh?
I mean,
what if I say no?
What is it?
The Sci-Fi Channel in the 90s, before the internet, this was how they sold their channel. This is a sales packet, and I'm probably just going to do a video alone on it because I have all the screenshots of it. But they sent out this packet that looks like, and it's got this cool information in it, this cool fold out. But this essentially is what an email would be today to promote your channel. It is.
That's cool. That's like a PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's got like, a little promotional sci-fi button. It came out in 95. So this is like
we need one of those for this channel.
Exactly. And it lists like, just different details. But the cool stuff in it, it's got the program listing from when Sci-Fi Channel first hit the air. And this,
Nice.
this is 1995. So they've got the, I believe the first and second quarter in here and what their schedule is. and then them kind of promoting like, hey, look at all the cool sci-fi stuff we have, because this is it. I mean, this is 95, so we don't even have Blade. Our sci-fi stuff that the channel had was just very basic old retread stuff, and very rarely anything new. But it's so weird because even the articles they put in here, because instead of like sending a link, they would send a copy of the actual article from the newspaper about their channel. So it's so weird to see. And one of the news articles is real exciting to talk about the new website. This channel has a website of its own, and it was a big deal to promote because it was 1995.
One thing and one goal that I hope we eventually get to on the channel is where the studios will send promotional materials like that. I don't even care if they send us like movies or whatever, like just the promotional stuff like that, the little packets that all like, all that stuff. So, hopefully one day. But that'd be nice because those are just cool, like to have as far as like especially if you love movies and stuff. Yeah, those are really neat.
Yeah, so it's neat because the programming was bare. I mean, it was just reruns, no new shows at all. They hadn't even done Battlestar Galactica. I don't even think they had acquired Mystery Science Theater at this point. So
nice.
Ooh. No, I think they had. At least Mystery Science Theater. At least
in 95.
At least the old stuff. I think they had.
Oh, okay, all right. But yeah, it was just a neat throwback. I'm going to try to do a video on its own so I can show every individual page and people can check it out. So
yeah, man, that's cool. That's a very niche thing to find.
How old were you in 95, Daniel?
3.
Damn it.
No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't 3. I don't know. 9? Yeah, I was 9.
I don't know. How old were you? I don't know.
Depending on, I was either 16 or 17.
Okay.
Daniel was 9, and Clay is popping some pills. So like that's the age difference we've got.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do some comics. We'll go back around, finish comics. We'll talk about other stuff on the lightning round. I went this morning. Actually, I went to get some drink, and I was reading at the shop. Star Wars Mace Windu #1. This is the new book written by Mark Bernardin. It's pretty cool. I really like it. I like Mark's writing, like from his other comics, and I just think the coolest thing about reading a Mace Windu comic is always kind of reading it in Samuel L. Jackson's voice and cadence. Like it's pretty easy, and I think it has a lot to do with the dialogue that Mark puts on there. Like that definitely feels like I'm gonna try to capture the essence of like, because we throughout the prequels we saw a lot of Sam Jackson, but like not. I don't know that he's ever on screen for more than 30 minutes between all 3 of the films.
It's not the Sam Jackson we want to see.
Yeah. So you definitely got a lot more Mace Windu in the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So, but it's not, it's not Sam Jackson voicing him.
If they gave him a Disney Plus series, what would you want to see in a Mace Windu series?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, a story like this is kind of cool, where he's like,
I swear to God, he actually made a post recently on Instagram or something saying like he wants the series, like he's still alive.
It feels like they're doing here kind of like he's the fixer for the Jedi. What's that series, Ray Donovan? Like it almost feels like he's that.
Well, they mentioned how his lightsaber fighting style is like the one that almost crosses into it's like the balance between the light side and the dark side. He's always having to keep,
But I would like to see him infiltrate the Empire in a post Order 66 world and just bring it down from the inside.
It'd be cool if he took like a like something, or like maybe it is something, because obviously Sam Jackson's older now, so like some of the fight sequences may not be, but he can be more of a covert, like like Mace Windu was thrown out the window and like he's lost his hand, so he had to go underground to kind of recover. And it's a little bit maybe I'm writing Nick Fury in Star Wars, maybe. He's the Jedi on the wall.
It can happen.
So that'd be cool. But yeah, I think I will say the art for this book, sometimes feels a little off or oversimplified. That's
Mm.
the only thing that got me. So I'm gonna definitely read this when it's all done because I think it's like a 5 or 6 issue thing. But I like it. It's more of a, Sam Jackson's got to go pick up. Somebody has found the new formula for coaxium that's more efficient, and the Jedi have to protect that from like the scum of the universe. So yeah, it's a really fun, pretty straight line story. But seeing Mace Windu, there's a line where he just tells a bunch of like no gooders that are kind of hanging out, that are about to give him some grief. He's like, here's what's about to happen, and then he describes it in detail, and you see it in the panels in like black and white, like they're imagining it. And then he's like, or you could run, and then the next panel is like all these, like this gang of hoodlums just running away from him. So like it's really, really fun. Next I'm going to talk about Follow the House of X #2.
Go for it.
The X-Men are making their move.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is Polaris showing up with the Brood to kill the space station.
Not even that. She brings Nowhere and slams it right into the station.
Yo, yeah. She's dragging the Nowhere head, like, and then she throws it at the space station.
We're talking about powerful. Dear God.
Yeah. This is really fun. I'm because the X-Men have been on their heels for like maybe the last few series, so like I'm glad they're finally kind of stepping up. You can tell that they're trying to wrap this up, so it's
the only thing I'm a little weird about is because you're seeing characters like if you read the current Wolverine book has Sabretooth hunting down the X-Men up in North, but yet the X-Men they're supposedly killing or appearing in the so it's like.
Yeah, I'm not just kind of like compartmentalizing that because the Sabretooth War, like there's a big editorial at the beginning that says this happened before Fall of X.
Okay.
So they're like, okay, well, in the end, like no matter what happens in these 10 issues of Sabretooth War, I guess Logan is gonna come out the other side somehow.
Well, not even that, because you realize X-23 is like they're. Yeah, no, never mind. Yeah.
Well, there's two Lauras running around too. Remember?
Yeah, not anymore.
One from the vault. Yeah. Oh, well, no, she's
also a new assassin in a gang war. She also an assassin. There's also another copy of Laura who's now an assassin. It working for.
You're talking about young. Is Daniel talking about young and old Laura?
Yeah. So Talon is in the X-Men book. I haven't read the newest one. Does she die in the?
Oh yeah.
Oh, stink. Oh, I gotta go read that.
I mean, I mean, it's comics, so there's always a way around it.
No, also, I think they're cleaning up. They're cleaning house.
Well, I was gonna say, I get the feeling that we're like, no matter what happens, you're gonna, as comic readers, you're gonna see a reboot at the end of this thing.
Marvel's
so I almost get the feeling that the writers are like, anything goes at this point because at the end of this, which is kind of exciting, because it's just like you're on this biggest roller coaster ever. People are dying left and right or whatever. I mean, and it kicked off like the Hellfire Gala kicked off with a big, massacre of a bunch of mutants. So like, you kind of, at that point I was like, oh, this thing's gonna get rebooted at the end of it. But so like they're gonna bring some people back or whatever. But
if you're reading Sabretooth War, like Akihiro got it good. So like, you should go. It's definitely the most violent book I've read in a long time. Like they Victor Lavalle and Benjamin Percy are like, don't give a fuck. We are also going out with a bang. So that's really cool. And then the last book I'll bring up, it's a new book by Ed Brisson, all about Canada. It's called The Displace. I have a full review for it on the channel, but the quick synopsis is that in this city in Canada just disappears off the face of the earth. But there's a few people that live there that happen to not be there at the time. So now this group of individuals, they have no home, and nobody on earth is acknowledging that their city just disappeared, and they're also forgetting about these people. So only they kind of remember what's going on. So they're both trying to figure out what the hell's happening and maybe how to get their home back, but also trying to, like, they have to now, they don't have anyone else other than this group of people. So it's pretty interesting. I like Ed Brisson a lot. I'm not familiar with the artist, but they're doing a pretty bang up job. I would imagine if you live in Canada, like I think these are real cities. Like, so it's always kind of cool when something happens in a place you either know or live in.
Somebody
So
was
yeah,
like, "That was my favorite Tim Hortons in that city."
yeah, right. So yeah, and I mean Ed Brisson, I think he does a lot of really fun stuff. Did he wrap up that Alpha Flight book, Clay? Did you finish that? I haven't finished that.
They've only put out like 5 issues, right? I think that was all part of Fall of the X. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And he's also gonna do the new Predator: The Last Hunt, which is I think his books have been like kind of like 3 little miniseries that are all kind of connected. So that'll be cool. So yeah, that's all the comics I have. Let's go back to Kyle. Wrap up comics with. I think you and Jeff still have some stuff to talk about.
So, Green Lantern number 8. This is getting interesting, especially, well, there are 2 stories. I'm going to save the second one for last because that's where I really want to talk about. Anyway, so you have Razor, who is the Red Lantern we've seen from the animated series, who made his appearance in Young Justice. He has no power. Apparently, they find out that apparently something is attacking and destroying the different spectrums. So, like, apparently he mentions that the blue battery has been destroyed. The planet that has a blue battery on has been destroyed. And so, like, apparently now the Green Lantern Corps is. I think I read something about it, but basically is sort of now working for the Intergalactic Union of Planets, and they're like the police force for them. So they come down, and they need him, and they don't recognize Hal Jordan of the Ring. They don't. This ring isn't in our database. So he tries to stop him. They take him to Madame Xanadu, and she basically says, "Yeah, something's happening." What's funny is she mentions that, like, she mentions the fact that, like, Sinestro had come by and tried to talk about getting off the plane, and he goes, "Why did you tell me he came by?" It's like, well, I figured him getting off the plane would be a good thing, so I was trying to help him. And so the new Green Lanterns come in and capture Razor, but the thing is, Hal cannot leave the planet. And he's tried so many times and realized it's not his will, it's not his mind, but he just every time he gets into space, his brain stops and he falls back. But once he gets back here, it works. So he's trying to figure out what's going on. Then the B story is with the real Green Lantern. They bring back Kyle Rayner. And so he's basically, it's kind of like an origin story where he's kind of going back and talking about how when he first, appeared in New York, and he's there recreating, Radu's coffee shop talking to Alex. And he's just trying to go through the whole story about, like, just like kind of just talking about, like, how he feels. And, like, I love being a Green Lantern, but sometimes it's a drain. And then the new girl, I don't know her name, the new Green Lantern, the black girl.
Joe.
Joe. She shows up and says, we've something's attacking the spectrum, and he even goes and makes this thing like saying how because of all the metahumans on Earth is quarantined, nobody's allowed to go to Earth. So basically, he's like, I can't go home, Hal can't leave, but she says something's happening to the spectrum, so he goes off with Joe to kind of figure out what's going on with the spectrums, and so this is going to like tie and bring them all together. So just good.
First of all, go read Far Sector because that's where Joe's introduced, and holy shit, it's a really, really good book.
Okay.
But yeah, I love Green Lantern. I think Jeremy Adams has been doing a really good job with it. So maybe we can. Last time I saw him at a convention, he's like, "Yeah, send me a Twitter. Well, I'll stop by you guys' show." So.
Yeah. And then I just like, but the fact as long as you're bringing Kyle back into the main screen, that's what I care about. And then the next book, I have been so surprised. This is like Thunderbolts to me. This is the other book I'd almost have to say. Batman and Robin has been a spectacular book. It's just and plus you never get to see Batman. Like, I've never seen Batman smile and act like a father anytime in his life except for now. But it's basically dealing with where Victor Zsasz, you find out that this one kid at Damian's school is his son, so he tries to go free him, and so Batman and Robin intervene, and Damian's trying to take on his son, and you realize later that Vector's like about ready to kill the kid, and he goes, I want to work with you. I think you're my dad. And he goes, are you kidding? I don't have a kid. He's like, but I and Victor's is like, you don't realize how much of a psychotic, like, I don't give a shit about you. I would kill my own kids to get out of jail. And, yeah,
rough.
I know. Yeah. So they stop him, and they go back to school, and apparently Bruce and apparently one of the teachers, Damian swears, is one of his teachers from the League of Assassins, and so he's trying to prove it, but she doesn't believe him. And Bruce never realized how much shit he was getting from the students there. They call him Art Boy. So there's a scene back at the Brownstone where Bruce Knox comes in and Damian's drawing, and he's making his own comic based on Damian, about Robin, but kind of all the stuff. And in Batman's, they're like, and they bond. It's like, this is a spectacular art, and they just bond. And then they get this alert, so they go out. You have Batman arriving in the Batmobile, Damian in his Robin mobile, which is like this dune buggy, and then it's apparently the Man Bat has his own religion. You have all these followers who are trying to free the Man Bat.
I'm ready to join. I've
Yes.
suddenly become religious.
And then so you this figure jumps out of the shadows, beats the hell out of all the followers, and you realize it's Robin's girlfriend from the Lazarus Pit tournament, Flatline. And so he picks her up, and the next scene is just Batman smiling. And goes, "Oh, son, is this a friend of yours?" And it's like, "Oh, you could not end on a better note."
And if it was in manga, Batman would be like, "Son, is this a friend of yours?" The pinky means girlfriend and stuff. So
I mean, the previous issue where it's them camping to now, it's just like, oh my god, this book is so fun.
It's really good. Now, Jeff, you also have that on your list. What do you think of it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I think it's such a refreshing change of pace from like the other Batman stuff that's happening right now, where Bruce has gone crazy and whatever. So it's not really tethered to the. It still is kind of, but it isn't, kind of thing. So it's a great fun book to read. I love reading it every month.
Oh
yeah, Bruce trying to make Damian lead a normal life, but that's tough because of them. Also,
and it's fun. And it's also fun to watch Bruce Wayne as a character kind of fumble his way through parenting, kind of sort of, because you're so used to seeing him, like being great at everything. But then he's like, I don't know how to, raise it. Like at one point in the book, he's like, well, maybe I shouldn't send you to school because you aren't like any other kid or whatever.
Right.
If I had to choose my top 5 favorite Batman books, this is definitely up there now. This run of Batman and Robin is in the top 5.
It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then Bruce being poor, but they still have this really nice brownstone.
He still has money, just
Yeah, he's like the 2% now. Like
All right. I think Jeff, you have one more book to talk about that we haven't touched on, right?
But first off, to Clay's thing earlier, I do collect some. Like I like the outside.
Yes.
Like, oh, people are going hungry. We need superheroes to feed them. And
that was
weird. Anti-drug PSA comic.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, I do collect those things outside the normal.
Nice.
Never. Give me all the drugs.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there was this also. Image released the Secret War, the Secret History of the War on Weed.
That is the best book. My favorite book of last year.
Yeah.
They've continued. Have you read the follow-ups that Gary Duggan's been doing?
No. I missed the last one.
There was one like a Christmas, like a holiday one.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, we should have. I think we might have the reviews on the folder if you want to check.
Yeah, my shop used to pull book. We had a Josh there that knew my taste, so he's like, "Oh, Patton's got a new book out. Here's this book. And he definitely goes, "You're going to enjoy The War on Weed."
Yeah. Nice. The other thing is also going back to Clay's. One of my dream jobs that definitely will no longer exist soon is I would love to be a program director for a linear cable television show, where I'm just yes, give me I will program your WGN for the rest of the week. Let me add it. That'd be so fun. I have the Batman and the Action Comics comics that came out this last week.
Great.
The only thing I enjoy about it is that it's just dealing with, I guess, the Joker War stuff, where a bunch of people turned into Jokers in Gotham, and this is Bizarro War, sort of, where a bunch of people in Metropolis become Bizarros, and they are I enjoy the parallels.
Crazy shit. But I wanted to show to really convince Clay to read this. I wanted to show him this page.
Oh yeah,
it is John Timms is just oh, here, hold on. I'm on Action Comics. Let me do some of the best work I've ever done. It's really fun. It's really fun. I think we only have one more part for this story, and then they'll switch out. I think the Superman Superstars, I think is what they're calling them.
Yeah. Nice. Real quick, this is from 2 weeks ago. The Cole wrapped up. Again, it ends on a cliffhanger, but then it's like the end question mark. And I hope those question marks don't, like, I hope Kelly Thompson comes back and finishes that.
Nice.
And then did anybody else pick this up? The Penthouse stuff?
No.
Comics?
Are they
Comics.
still publishing?
This is their the return of them coming back. So this is this has something. Guillaume Marsh is the only name I recognize in here. I mean, they're actual comics. I'm trying to hold on. It is
trying
spicy.
to find a picture that doesn't have.
I'm trying to find a
nudity.
picture that doesn't have nudity. I mean, there are some stuff, like there's nothing like there's actually quite a
gasp.
But it's just like a bunch of underground, this is why I picked it up, because I've always heard that this was like Penthouse Comics was like an underground comics kind of haven where people from the 90s were like, whatever, coming, like they would get their start here and then, go on to do some really crazy.
It's giving heavy metal.
No comics code authority for them.
Yeah, it's very much heavy metal. The first 3/4 of the book are like heavy metal, like all comics. The last little bit of the book is magazine-like. So there's articles in the back of the book. So you can say you got it for the articles. And then there is just like a full-on like nudie picture thing.
No, Mom, I got it for the comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm surprised nobody else picked this up though. Like,
yeah, I'm surprised if anyone remembers the Penthouse name.
Oh yeah.
Dear Penthouse.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool.
They printed my letters. They printed my letters.
In the comments, in the comments, let us know your favorite Dear Penthouse letter.
The ones from Splash that John Candy wrote.
Oh boy.
And we'll read them out loud next week.
I'm busy next week, guys. You guys have fun with that.
Okay, but like I can't find a website for them, which is really weird.
Check on Instagram. Anyway,
fuck Meta.
But Penthouse Comics?
Yeah, for Penthouse Comics. Like I pulled it up and it's like, here's Wikipedia.
Check on the preview and the preview website.
It's being released by Behemoth, so maybe look under Behemoth Comics.
Oh, okay. They do cool stuff. They do really like outside of the box.
I mean, like, here are some artists, though, that came out of Penthouse Comics. Adam Hughes, Julie Bell, Ernie Colin, Glenn Fabry, Frank Franzetta, Mark Textera, Boris Vallejo. So, I mean, yeah, it's got a lot of tits and ass, but man, there are some fucking fantastic artists that are.
Yeah, I'm
somewhere.
Yeah. Because I've always heard it's just kind of this, old, like, and I was kind of expecting this almost like in the distillery kind of comics kind of thing. Like I thought it would just attract all these big names to this thing, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I've just flipped through it a bunch of times. No, but I'll let you know next week because I read everything else first.
Okay,
I was saving that for a candlelight dinner later.
That's for next issue after dark.
Yeah, next issue after dark.
Okay, we're gonna throw it over to Clay. I'm gonna step away for a second, and then whenever I come back, I'll start rushing Clay to get through the rest of his list. So, go ahead, Clay.
All right. Well, I just feel bad because I'm kind of like Josh. I just have a stack to read. So, just real quickly, is anyone reading Chip Zdarsky's Avengers Twilight?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I just picked it. I just got those, so I haven't been able to read them. I'm excited to. Same with the new Planet of the Apes series. This one takes place during the original series. When I was picking it up at my shop, Aaron, the owner at Urban Legends, this is his favorite run of Planet of the Apes, so he's super hyped for this one. While the last 5 issues were based in the more recent trilogy, this one goes back to the origins. Of course, a great Scotty Young cover with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I'm not sure if I was going to pick this up or not, but I'll check out the first issue just because I got the art. Again, more Scotty Young because I probably will Rise the Power of the X. The latest Guardians Grootfall stuff that you guys don't dig.
That ends. I think that's the last issue of that, and then next week is the an annual that comes out that wraps up the story.
Okay, is the series going to end or Lansing?
I think the series ends after the annual. Yeah.
Man, they have like 7 or 8 volumes of Guardians. It's so hard to collect when you're looking for stuff, and it's like, well, I don't know if this is Bendis's run from the 5th volume or from the 4th volume. It's just all over the place. I brought this one out because this was my favorite variant of the week was Moon Knight, and I just love this cover. This is just a throwback to the early Moon Knights and is fantastic. Yeah. Oh, a moon. Oh, and that's really it. I mean, the other stuff I had in here were just random issues. But I do, as we just kind of transition into movies, wanted to show off one of my Shelby found a copy of Thrashing, which is one of my favorite skateboarding movies with Thanos himself, Josh Brolin in it. And so now I have like a legit copy, and I'm super excited to watch Thrashing. Have you guys ever seen it?
I worked for Half Price Books for like 15 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
you gain such a collection working from that place of stuff. It's all stuff, but I miss it because I'm like, now I have to pay full price for stuff.
No, it's full price.
She'll send me pictures of stuff that she gets, and it's just like cool random stuff. I mean, it's just like she said they had a big collector recently, and what Half Price will do is, like, if there's a big collector that like passes away and the family doesn't want to go through their stuff, that Half Price Books will come out and go through their stuff and just give them a flat price for everything on it. And so that's how they've gotten some of their cool things recently. One thing I was able to get this past week on VHS in almost pristine condition was Phantasm 1, 2, and 3 on VHS, and just almost perfect copies. They're just great. Of course, I don't have the VHS player, but it's more of the aesthetic of my VHS collection. It just looks cool. Real quick for movies. Anyone seen Gran Turismo? Oh, nope.
I was just going to tell you, just save the Marvels. Well, we could do like a whole thing next week for it.
Okay, cool. Watched Gran Turismo. Anyone seen this?
Not yet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. See, like I went into it because because it's supposedly based on a true story that I know nothing about. So I went in and like it really makes you question the story, because it's like, yeah, Nissan put together this idea to pitch a Gran Turismo game to get the best of the best out of there, have a camp, get the best driver out of it, and have him really drive a car. And I was like, this just seems super hyped and but the way they wrap it up at the end gives you the idea a lot of the stuff in the film really happened. Hopper is the best thing in the whole movie.
Yeah, David Harbour's great. Orlando Bloom is great. I forget his name. He's playing the main kid.
I don't know the kid's name.
There's like a thing that happens in the middle of the movie that I was not expecting.
Exactly.
And I was like, what the fuck?
I know when they did that, I go, they're taking a lot of liberties, because I don't think this probably really happened. But again, they recap it at the end and let you know what the real driver went through.
And then the real life driver did a lot of the stunts for the driving. So yeah, I think, I think they finally nailed how to do video game movies, maybe, for the most part.
I will say Orlando Bloom is kind of wasted. His purpose in this film is to be the go-between between Nissan, and he's like head of marketing in these gamers. And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's a weird character, but really, David Harbour is the heart and soul of this film. Yeah. So if you're a fan of his, like I am, it's worth the watch.
I think it's pronounced Nissan.
Nissan. Nissan. The way you would say it, I'm like, no, in Texas we say Nissan. Southern Comfort, I watched, is a movie from 1971 by Walter Hill that I had never seen, and it is amazing. Like this made me actually go to Letterboxd and review it, because I was such a fan of this film. It's got early work by T.K. Carter, Fred Ward, Powers Booth, Keith Carradine, Peter Coyote, and they're these weekend. What are the military that show up for every week? They're the military reserves. They show up in Louisiana. Yeah, they show up on the Louisiana Texas border. Huh?
National Guard.
Yeah, and they're there to, but they're the reserve though. They're not like always on duty. So these are like, you know, they show up like every so often do it. So they're not like real military people, but they show up and they're set to run this plan in the backwoods of Louisiana, and everything goes wrong. And it is a great movie. I can't believe people haven't really talked about it. The main quote I'd read was by Walter Hill talking and saying, "This is not a metaphor for Vietnam." But this movie is a perfect metaphor for Vietnam. It is so good. I really recommend it. It was a great watch. And it's
for any Army reservists watching this, Clay doesn't speak for everyone in the podcast.
Oh man, this was a wild ass movie. I finally got to see a Mia Goth film. I know Daniel, I'm behind on this because you were a fan of hers. I watched X because it was on Netflix. Wow. The thing that blew me away the most was seeing Brittany Snow in it, who had kind of played like the all-American teenager on TV, playing a porn star in this one. You're just like, it catches you off guard. But yeah, I'm very interested now knowing what the next two movies are about. And I can't wait to dig into those. Pearl and Maxine.
Yeah, so Pearl's a sequel and Maxine's kind of I'm sorry, Pearl's a prequel.
Prequel, yeah.
Yeah, Ty West is the interesting director.
Yeah, I mean, but also in a way, like you could look at like this is somebody wanted to do their Texas Chainsaw Massacre because they do it in a way that gives you that same kind of vibe. Yeah. You know, it's the same kind of setting. It's the 70s. I dug it. It was unsettling.
Kid Cudi's in it. We just read his comic book a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
this was Jen Ortega right before she blew up on Wednesday. Like she was in this film. So yeah, really fun.
I didn't even know she was in it. Like she plays like he calls her church mouse, and that is exactly what she does for the first.
Very different role from like anything else she's been doing afterwards. Yeah,
exactly. And then one of my favorite Bruce Willis movies I haven't watched in a while, Last Man Standing, which is based on Yojimbo. Have you guys seen Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo?
Only the rabbit.
Last Man Standing is Bruce Willis playing between two gangs who are trying to overtake a Texas town in the 30s to run liquor. It's a great flick, great action. Christopher Walken's in it. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Nice.
And then right before you got here, Thrash It. I was just promoting the hell out of this.
Thrash It.
Greatest skateboarding movie ever.
I don't know if you've seen Lords of Dogtown.
Gleaming the Cube still up there.
I've rewatched Gleaming the Cube, and Gleaming the Cube is a neo-noir skateboarding movie. It's the crime before the skating.
Okay.
I enjoy how much skateboarding has made it into this episode.
Yeah, especially with kicking up with Night Thrasher.
Yeah.
Now I need to build a replica Night Thrasher skateboard with blade.
Yes.
Let me hit a couple quick things, Rook, just to throw them out there. So I started watching a series on Max called Tokyo Vice.
I heard good things about that.
It's really good, about American journalist played by Ansel Elgort trying to make his way in Japan. Apparently, it's based on like a true person. And yeah, of course, like reporters over there apparently just begin with the police beat, and he's kind of getting involved with like following the Yakuza and learning about gangs and everything in the late 90s in Japan. So pretty interesting. It's got a very Michael Mann directed the first episode, so like from there I was already kind of like hooked on the aesthetic. He's also a producer on the show, so yeah, I'm quite enjoying that. One thing I was gonna say I didn't enjoy it, but I had a fun time, but it's not a very good thing. It's Madam Web.
I saw your review. I loved it.
It's so hard to talk about that film because there's like so many little good parcels of it, but like the film is just badly put together. Like it's just a badly made film. Like whenever I notice ADR, it's that the ADR is off. Something's off because I never notice that shit. Like the whole
Sony, we can kind of make a movie.
No,
I've seen a couple of TikToks where people have made fun of like the how off the ADR is, and I've seen one clip of the movie where Dakota Johnson is like sitting against the back wall of her apartment, and she's like, how do you know if you can climb up walls? And she attempts to climb up walls and just falls. And that's going to be my new inspirational movie clip from now on. Whenever I need to like pick myself up, that's what I'm watching.
I like all that, like all the character stuff. I found that it was funny. They also, of course, dance around the whole Spider-Man thing, like throughout the whole film. Like, we don't have Spider-Man, but do we? And then but the characters are fun, like overall. So I think I had a good time at the theater. I would definitely watch another film with these characters because what they set up was like, we could really have a cool movie if Sony would just let us make the fucking film. But you can tell that Sony like hacked this thing to pieces.
Have you seen the latest commercial for it from Dakota Fanning or Dakota Johnson? Dakota Fanning. She's like, "Hi, come see me in my new movie." Like it's just dead. Like no soul
I
to
find
it.
that really entertaining. Like her deadpan delivery, and also like anytime she's in a scene with all the three other girls. Where you're like, I don't like, she's not a responsible adult. Why is she in charge of everything? I find that all her interview, like the media for this film has been really fun to follow along, and it's in big part because of Dakota Johnson just has a really. I love. Somebody asked her like, do you like the new Spider-Man films? And she's like, or can you name them? And she just makes up names for them, like Spider-Man, here I am, or like Spider-Man, here I come again. And the third one, she's like, Spider-Man and the Goblet of Fire or something. And I was like, yeah, it's really funny. I really,
third generation
she's
Nepo
great.
baby.
Yeah,
but she's great in her interviews. She doesn't like everything she does is I love her. Like I want to hang out with her.
me too.
Because she just seems so fun.
She's not the problem. The cast is not the problem. Everything else around the film is the problem.
Well, look at the writer. Look at the other films that those writers have done. Morbius, Gods of Egypt, some of the biggest turds ever on screen.
Yeah. I think they had like one good thing on there that I saw. But anyways.
I mean, did you guys hear about how like she was kind of led to believe that she was joining the MCU proper?
Yeah, she doesn't have any idea.
And she's since fired her agent because of that. And there was an article somewhere that came out. Somebody told me about this. That apparently this is kind of what Sony does. Is they're like, you guys want to be in the MCU? And that's how they pitch it to these actors. And then the actors show up and they're like, oh, we're in the.
Hey, Aaron Taylor Johnson, do you want to be in the MCU? Like, again?
Yeah.
I can't wait for Craven. Anyway.
Okay. Here's their movies: Madam Web, Morbius, Dracula Untold, the Vin Diesel vehicle, The Last Witch Hunter, and Gods of Egypt. I mean, that's just.
I low-key like Dracula Untold.
So good.
And
I like Dracula Untold. I don't know. Yeah, those are bad.
No, Dracula Untold is terrible, but The Last Witch Hunter is good.
I think each of us probably like one of the really bad movies that they've made.
Wait, what was the last one, Clay?
Power Rangers.
Oh, that's actually generally that's like 100% the best movie out of all of them.
Yeah, I think so. I think they nailed that one. Anyways, all right, and then the last thing, if you missed it on Twitch yesterday, I was building Legos with my buddy Mike. We're putting together the Technic Batmobile, which is very intricate. I didn't realize how intricate it was. I was only able to get through like the first bag of Legos in about 3 hours. But the video is releasing on the I Read Comic Books YouTube if you want to check it out later today. So, okay, let's get on to God. We're so late on everything. Let's talk about. We have a quick comic review that this actually came out a couple of weeks ago, but it's related to a book that's coming out this week. So we read this one instead. And today we're gonna be here we go. We're going to be talking about The One Hand. This is a new book from ImageComics, written by Ram V with art by Lawrence Campbell and colors by Lee Lorridge. Clay, we're going to kick it off to you. What did you think of this book?
I dug it. I love the style. I love a good crime book, and I'm always going to, grade it harder against an Ed Brubaker and some of the that Texas Blood, some of the stuff that already exists out there. But this is a great hook because it takes place in the future, and you have a retiring detective who on his last day, suddenly a case that he thought he closed is reopened because they find this hand.
He closed twice.
Yeah.
See, that's what I wonder with the world. I almost felt Batman animated series with this world because, like, he's walking around, you've got drones, and you got these like subways or on top, but then you look at the cars, and they're like 1940 style police cars and vehicles, and I'm thinking
that was interesting because they're like year 2300 or something, but like did we revert back to neo noir?
You look back at Batman the animated series, it's neo noir, like you got the old style. But then you got the back computer and you got all these other technology-based things. It's like, okay, so what's the time period set here?
Yeah, and I'm curious why it has to be the future. See, that also gives me the idea of like, we have this character that's been putting this hand up on sites where murders have been committed, but the way it's sprayed, you could almost see a sixth finger that's not sprayed or not shown in the signature. And that's the next book coming out, right?
Yeah. So here's what Clay's talking about. There's a cipher that's kind of left behind. That was really cool. But Jeff, what did you think of the one hand?
Oh, I loved it. It's like 7, meets this kind of. It's a neo noir 7 basically, and we're in the very first chapters of it. Super. I did not. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't want to like it because I don't want to add another cost to my monthly pool kind of thing. So I kind of went into it like not expecting the worst, but really trying my hardest not to like it. And it blew me. It blew me away because I was just like, I got to go back and pick this thing up.
You had lowered your expectations so much that it just kind of came and popped you right in the face.
Yeah, exactly. That the 6-fingered man, will get you every time. It's super intriguing. I do like the neo noir kind of like, you're in the future, but it's still kind of dark and gritty, which is, let's be honest, that's what we're heading toward.
It's very it's very Blade Runner, like at the beginning.
I was going to say that, especially when he's in that room with the girl. I'm not going to say what
just
happened,
this whole scene. This whole scene.
I wish he didn't have like such a 90s grunge haircut. The main detective with his long locks. I'm like, get a haircut, punk.
Well, he's an old man. He's about to retire.
That's why it grosses me out. Old people, anyway.
Whoa, hot take over here with Jeff. Cut your hair, old people.
Get a haircut, Tom Petty. Okay, only Tom Petty can pull off that look.
Oh, not anymore.
Willie Nelson is gonna give you a big.
But that's even longer. That's fine. That's in a ponytail. He wraps it up.
Okay, so it's just the mid length. Anyways,
it's the mid length. Don't do anything with it. Makes it look unwashed and unkempt. Come on.
Yeah,
you're a professional. Also, I'm pretty sure you can't renege on your retirement like the day of kind of thing.
Well,
he's
that's
like, just lose the paperwork, and I was like, I don't know if you can do that. I'm like, I understand it's comics, but I don't think that's
why he told her, his captain or whatever, to like lose the paperwork or keep it in the desk. Sometimes you forget a little bit.
Yeah,
it's not official till it's turned in.
Have lost paperwork before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody from HR would be like, "Hey, where's that paperwork?"
Very interesting how there's so much analog like paperwork and files and stuff in a world that's like that. So far, it's the future.
Well, maybe that's the safest place.
Maybe
my company has a link where you can turn in your 2-week notice. Like you don't have to like handwrite it out. It's like written for you in a link that you can just do it.
Damn, what kind of
like how's the turnover there that they have to click through it, something like that?
Look, we're getting too many of these. Just automate it.
Yeah. Let the AI handle it. All right. Anything else before I do want to talk about the other book real quick. Not so much talk about the other book, but the thing related to this. Any last thoughts on that one hand? You guys are gonna keep reading because luckily Image sends us the preview, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. The thing is Ram V is a great comic book writer, so it makes me want to read the issues individually because he's going to leave a great hook at the end to pull you into the next issue. But then I'm tempted to just buy a nice hardcover when it's done because I'm already pulled in by the first issue.
Yeah, it may be a trade weight thing, not necessarily because it's not great, but because it might read better all together kind of thing.
And I would probably revisit it as a book. So
hopefully next week we're going to talk about, in our review, The Six Fingers, which, as you can see here, Dan Waters is writing this one. We do have a different artist, but it's all pretty much related to this case, right? You can see from the covers, Tom Miller, the design on both of them. So these books are linked somehow. I don't know exactly how yet because I haven't read the Six Fingers, but that comes out this week. We'll probably be talking about it on the next week for the review. So,
do we know how long this is going for?
I'm thinking like 6 issues each, maybe. But we'll see. I think I'm gonna make my decision on how to read this after I read the Six Fingers, to see like, okay, is this something that I have to go one-on-one? Are they telling kind of separate stories that have similar things happening on them? I think
that would be the only thing that makes me switch from trade reading to monthly.
Yeah. So okay, well, here's some really cool covers, but thanks to Image for letting us read this in advance, even though we did it a little bit later.
Nice.
Yeah, these are cool. I like that there's like a Six Fingers one kind of colored at
Just
the
has
end,
that little hint.
Yeah. All right, cool. So Jeff, Kyle, do you guys have a wrestling minute in you? You guys want to talk about last night? Have you seen SmackDown?
Oh, I caught a glimpse. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I know a little bit about it with The Rock coming out.
So,
and
since Clay's away, we're gonna wrestle a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, when we got to our recommendations, I was gonna talk about Elimination Chamber starting at 6 a.m. next Saturday. In Central Time. 6 a.m. Central Time, 5 a.m. Eastern. And
we'll catch most of it before we stream. I think so. Yeah. So I think the one thing I want to talk about is that The Rock showing up in that shirt.
Well,
it's like full on heel turn.
That's a throwback to his Hollywood Rock persona, right?
Oh my God.
Or with the silk shirts and the shades, never taking them off, cutting off the crowd when they're trying to because it's hard for The Rock to be a heel, I think, because he's so popular. Like people just love talking along with his stuff.
Last time he did it back in 2003, it was such a it was hard to buy into. Like he came out with leather pants and biker boots and the vest and everything, and he takes on Hogan, takes on Stone Cold at WrestleMania 19, and then basically at 19, and then basically ends up losing to Goldberg at No Way Out, and just like, oh God.
But what I loved about his presentation last night, is that he came out because they kind of set the crowd up because Roman came out first. Yeah. And he's like, I know you're going to want to do the catchphrases and whatever else. But there's like this weird parallel between all of us are going to buy into the fiction that is wrestling here in a second. Like we all know you love The Rock, but he's about to come out and play a bad guy. Yeah. And then everybody in the crowd got behind it. Everybody was like, okay, we love you, but now we're going to boo you because of the role it's almost like it's Shakespeare. Let's say
everybody was like, I'm sorry. I love you, and then boom, super kick to the face of The Rock, right?
100%. But that's what he asked for. Because even he came out and he's just like, now, I'm gonna do some stuff, but then I'm gonna heel turn on you, and we're just gonna have a great time all around.
Now, wrestling TikTok for the most part is pretty good about being well behaved and catching a lot of cool things. One thing somebody pointed out when he was doing his whole spiel, The Rock, he was talking to Cody. But then he said something to something like, I will make sure you are not the champion after WrestleMania, while kind of looking
at Roman
towards Roman. Like they pointed that out. I missed it yesterday, but this is the good thing about wrestling TikTok. They obsess about the clips, and everybody's pretty knowledgeable about oh, this is kind of like how wrestling. We've all been watching wrestling for so long. We know the tricks. We know the little things they do, right? The little seeds are planted. I think somebody said that when he put his finger up, it was more like this as opposed to the one we the ones, just all those little subtle details. So yeah, I don't know. WWE's got a really good thing going. I'm excited for Elimination Chamber. The Chambers matches themselves look pretty good. Yeah. We only have one mystery, I think, person left on each one, which should be resolved by next week.
I will say, gosh, I don't even remember what I was going to say now. Because I got excited because I like that they introduced Braun Breaker. I was kind of hoping they would do a Braun Breaker versus Solo Sikoa for WrestleMania.
It could still happen. They have time.
I I can't remember what else I was gonna say. Go ahead.
I think it's weird with Braun because he just won tag team championships with
NXT.
with
Baron
Corbin.
Corbin.
With
Yeah.
the what are they, the lone wolf? What are they called? The dog pack or whatever.
Raw War Dogs.
War Dogs. Yeah. So, the only thing that's kind of a shame is that I feel like LA Knight's getting lost in the shuffle. I thought he was kind of like he was. I don't know who's gonna win the men's chamber. Like I just don't know. And then
They go on to face
whoever
Seth
wins it,
Rollins, correct? It's gonna.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Drew McIntyre.
Eliminations for Rollins belt.
So, but then, are they doing that? Are they doing the tag team with Cody and with Cody and Seth versus the Rock and Roman?
Okay, here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be if they do that tag team, that'll be the first night, and then the belt matches will be at the second night.
Right, but then does Rollins defend? Does Rollins defend on the second night too?
I think Damian Priest
Cashes
is going to cash out on the first night, and then it'll be a Damian Priest versus
after the tag match.
After the tag match, and then it'll be like
Drew
Damian Priest versus whoever wins.
Drew wins the chamber because they've had animosity too, and this is how you turn. Damian Priest face.
And,
right?
Yeah, because
nice. Okay.
This is what I was going to say earlier. I do enjoy that. We now know the best thing to come out of all this is that we know that the WWE are willing to pivot to listen to the like when the fans kind of like they've had a history of being like, no, we're doing the Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. We do not care what you think.
Okay, I hate to bring this up, but that's all because, and I bring because McMahon's no longer in charge.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fuck that! Get out of here.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it could have been like we still could have gotten that, even without.
I'm surprised Kofi Mania happened. I'm not gonna lie. When they kind of leaned into Kofi winning everything.
Oh,
like it all happened very organically.
I was still pissed off, but like when the time he got the belt, he loses it almost overnight to Brock Lesnar. It's like let the man at least reign a little bit.
Yeah,
he's earned his due.
But I feel Daniel Bryan had to break that down before Kofi.
Oh god, yeah.
So there you go. That's your wrestling segment for the week. We didn't talk much about the women's stuff because that is so set in stone. It feels like there's no ambiguity. Like it's gonna be Bayley versus Io, and Bayley's gonna win, and she's gonna get her moment, right? And it's gonna be like Nia's gonna get destroyed at the chamber by Rhea. And then Rhea's gonna. And of course, Becky's gonna win the chamber. So like, I feel like those are pretty set in stone. Now, I don't know who wins out of Rhea and Becky. I'm leaning Becky, but I mean, I
would rather see Rhea stay.
I love Rhea too. It's hard. Like we don't know what Jade Cargill's gonna do. She's probably gonna go Bianca Belair, which would be a fucking dream match.
Yeah.
But the women's division is so good and so set. Like it feels like it's so firm. The men's division is kind of like everything's in shaky ground because CM Punk got hurt and.
What I bet it's like you've got so much like talent. It's like people are getting lost because you got Orton, AJ Styles, LA Knight. You've got too many people there.
Like Bobby Lashley.
They're doing a good job of keeping them all in rotation. Though,
right?
So we still get to see them.
Yeah. DIY definitely wins the tag championships. I think this weekend. I think that's what's going to start crumbling the Judgment Day.
Well, if you think about it, Rhea's really. I mean, Rhea's been almost more in charge of the Judgment Day. So I can see, like you said, maybe Damian becomes face and Rhea becomes full in charge of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
But then what do you do with what's his name? Mysterio.
That's hard to say.
Tom and Nick.
No. Anyways, all right, Clay's back. So Clay is specifically left to talk because we were about to talk wrestling.
Exactly.
All right, we got a few things to discuss, and we'll get through as much. We'll probably just forego recommendations because I want to get through a lot of stuff as much as we can. So we'll keep it to maybe about 10 minutes on each of these toppings, and then if we can't do some stuff at the end, we might go long for a little bit. But all right, first thing at the Super Bowl, we first of all got the name and the first trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, which is the new name. Like that's the name of the film now. Thoughts, everyone? Thoughts?
I thought, Hugh Jackman had posted to his Instagram that the name of the movie was Wolverine and the Asshole. Did y'all see that post?
Yeah.
I mean, even the same font and everything. I'm excited. I'm curious how they put them together, and the fact that Hugh Jackman came back for this after Logan. I'm excited. The trailer hints at a lot of really cool shit. So, I mean, all I have are theories, but I mean, one of my theories is that 20th Century Fox is this apocalypse.
Yeah.
And that the X-Men and some of those 20th Century Fox that characters are kind of stuck there, and that maybe they're going to pull them into the universe.
Yeah,
you know, because it looks like, I mean, we see Pyro in the trailer.
Oh
yes.
But then there's another character that has his face covered. So I'm assuming that they've all become kind of like Mad Max refugees in this post-apocalyptic 20th Century Fox world.
What's funny is, and you can see it, there's a part where after he gets thrown through the window and Deadpool's on the ground, there's a copy of a comic book in the dust, and it's Secret Wars.
I think it's Secret Wars 5. It's
the issue with Doom's face on it for sure.
Yeah. So, and I know one of the characters that you had posted a picture, or someone posted, I think it was Josh might have posted a picture because he thought Doom, there was a mask of one of the people that was dressed like Pyro looked like Doom.
Well, rumor is we're going to get cameos from all the like stars from the X films and the Fantastic Four films. So,
and even other ones, because I've heard Jen Garner has been brought on to bring back Elektra. So I'm kind of curious, like, how deep is he going to go? Are we going to get maybe an 1986 Howard the Duck show up? That would be interesting. It would be like I think they figured out the more fun it is, that's what Deadpool is. Yeah. Like, I mean, the nerds kind of love this shit, but if they can make it into a good story where the normies can watch it and enjoy it.
Well, and I'll guarantee this is probably going to be the open door for mutants, like officially more of the open flow mutant coming into the MCU than the trinkle we've been getting with Miss Marvel or, you know, Mr. Impossible from She-Hulk and stuff like that. I think this is probably opens the door for it.
Now there is a shot of a bald man and the back of his head, and I'm assuming that they're hinting that that's Charles. Do you guys have other theories?
I've heard it could be Cassandra Nova.
Yeah. Oh no. She's in the movie. She's actually in the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Cassandra Nova is actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think is actually a character in the movie.
Wow.
That's what I heard too. That it was.
Yeah. I think if you go, she's actually listed as Cassandra Nova is actually the main villain for the film, if I'm not mistaken.
I would also like to say that if Taylor Swift is in this movie, and there are any Swifties out there that have not yet been somehow found out about all these worlds, this is the podcast for you. We will let you know about everything you need to know, Swifties, about Taylor Swift possibly joining the MCU as Dazzler.
Watch my video I made on it. There is a video about Taylor Swift maybe resurrecting the oldest comic book script in Marvel history.
Yeah.
Did you
How's that for a plug?
Have you seen the rumors about like the actor who plays Patch? You know, he's walking up to Patch, you know, in the game. That it's probably Daniel Radcliffe.
Get the fuck out!
Oh,
really?
Cool.
He's basically listed as a cameo appearance in the film, and that's what they're wondering if it might be that. But it's not Hugh Jackman. When he's walking behind Patch, it's not Hugh Jackman playing that role right there.
So, do y'all feel that this is maybe a way to bring in Old Man Logan, and Hugh Jackman could continue to play Logan in a sense in that role?
Maybe
That'd be interesting.
And then have a young. What's weird though is remember when the Ultimate Universe had a young Logan, and it was kind of weird for a few issues, and then they just made him older.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's kind of paralleled how it actually went in the 616 universe, that he was young at first, and then when Claremont got his hands on him, he's like, I'm aging him way up.
Do you guys have a wish list of people you want to see, or characters, or things you want to see?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I want to see. Ben Affleck show up as Daredevil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Ben Affleck show up in his dunking tracksuit. Either or. I'll take either. Or both.
We'll just have Charlie Cox and Ben Affleck just show up. Like, who are you? Like,
that would be great.
We did it for Crisis with Barry and Barry. Why can't we have Matt and Matt come in just this one scene?
I think they need to
other Daredevil from the Lou Ferrigno Hulk movie.
Rex Smith, bring back Rex Smith, and
they're all pointing at each other.
Also, I think
the only thing that scares me about this movie is that anything can happen, and so I'm trying to curb my expectations before I'm just like, I want to see it all, because there's no way they can deliver it all. But you know,
raise them high. I think we have Leonard Kim in the chat saying he would love to see Deadpool, Wolverine, and Loki interact, even if it's just for a quick moment.
It could be because he's holding the
You know
the
what'd be
timelines
funny
together.
though? If it was the Matt Damon Loki, like the actor.
Wow.
Because he like Deadpool finds, because he can't find Loki because he's, Loki's busy. He finds the
Matt
actor
Damon.
and he's like, no, I'm just maybe he's hanging out with Ben Kingsley.
Rumors are we're gonna get the Tom Cruise Tony Stark.
I can't believe that. I just cannot believe that.
If you can have Brad Pitt show up as the Vanisher, why can we not have Tom Cruise as a variant Tony Stark?
Because I feel like Brad Pitt's more in on the joke, and Tom Cruise, though, he did do Tropic Thunder, and that is probably his greatest role ever. So if he stepped into something like this, I would be kind of like, if we see an Iron Man show up in the mask lifts, and it's
I think
Tom
also
Cruise
Brad Pitt is really good friends with the director. That's why they've done a couple movies together. That's why he it'd be funny if he does a cameo, because we see Shatterstar back right when they're doing the birthday cake at the beginning.
Yeah,
we see some of the X-Force that we thought were going to be dead.
Because he traveled back in time and saved them.
I also hope Sassy Beats comes back as Domino. I think she was great.
She was great. We need Cable.
A little Cable.
I haven't heard anything about that. I've heard no talk about it, whether or not he's back as Cable.
So let me show you guys some stills real quick.
What if he comes back as Thanos?
Or both. What if Thanos kills Cable, or vice versa?
Oh yeah, they have to have them meeting each other. That would be great.
So we have
you can see the 20th Century Fox.
The 20th Century Fox. We kind of talked about. I like when they're in the room watching MCU films.
Yeah,
relatable content, right?
The TVA.
Which is a very different TVA than the one we're used to.
Yeah,
the outfits are different.
Well, I mean, come on, we have the multiverse now, so maybe it's a different TVA. It's for
and then we have, of course, our first look at the yellow suit in action, even if it's a little bit, even if it's not the full detail. So
I know the name is Daredevil and Wolverine, and yet we don't see
Daredevil and Wolverine.
Deadpool.
I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine. We don't see.
No, it's fine. You don't have to show me everything on the first trailer.
Oh yeah, they're definitely
they're saving that for the Comic-Con trailer or something.
Yeah.
I'm worried that the next trailer may be too spoilery. I may sit out the next trailer.
But see, this is like the end game of the Deadpool movie. So I don't.
Yeah.
There's no way for me. I'm like, this can be overly spoiled, because I'm like, who knows? Yeah, who knows what's going to happen?
And they did drop footage in Endgame that never appeared in Endgame. So there could be a trailer that shows a lot of shit that just never appears in the movie.
And not even that. It's like everybody's already aware of what this film's going to be. So spoil the hell. I mean, we already realized this is going to be everything. From they want to see all the cameos and all this stuff in there. So it's like it's more like.
I like the idea that this is their end game, and just having portals show up with like Elektra and Ben Affleck Daredevil come through, and 86 Howard the Duck.
You know what would be cool is like if Deadpool deploys like all his friends and from the movies, like the X-Force and Negasonic Teenage, like Colossus and Kimiko, like he sends them all to gather these people and then at the end of the fight, like they're the ones that are bringing them. Like they made more sliders with like the Cable technology, because I think it was Kimiko and Negasonic Teenage Warhead that fixed it, right? So maybe they can get more. Leonard Kim in the chat, they could give me half of the movie in the trailers and teasers. I won't care.
Basically,
yeah.
I know, but I kind of love that moment in the movies where you see something, you're just like,
oh yeah. Oh, we're still gonna get a lot of that.
I also feel like you guys know that story, that how they filmed the shawarma from the Avengers, like the night of the premiere. I feel like Ryan Reynolds has his stuff enough together that if like a story or something breaks, they could probably still film something right up until like a couple of weeks before it actually gets.
Does he
just drop it in somewhere?
Does this Daredevil movie have enough pull to put?
What is
to
with you and
Chris?
Daredevil?
I mean, Deadpool. I'm sorry, I'm just like obsessed with Daredevil lately. What does this Deadpool movie have enough pull to bring Chris back as Captain America and Human Torch in it?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, hopefully.
That would be very cool.
Because I think they're buddies, aren't they? Aren't Chris Evans and Ryan? They're buddies.
I don't know.
I feel like I've seen them pal around before. I feel like he pals around with everybody. So like,
yeah,
you could probably just ask anybody for a favor.
I know, and I'm curious. He has this great friendship with Rob McElhenney with owning the soccer team over in England. That will he drop Rob in as like a guest star playing somebody?
Could we get an Always Sunny Fantastic Four?
Oh my! Danny DeVito is the Thing, or Herbie,
or we get Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
As Herbie would be magical.
Oh, Danny DeVito as the Penguin
Human
would be
Torch,
fucking
honestly.
amazing.
Well, no, this is so off a tangent. I'm on Instagram yesterday, and one of the videos came up with Christy Alley about her 2 times hosting SNL. And so the first one she does it, you had half the cast of Cheers there to actually come out and help her. But then after a couple years after the Cheers end, she's hosting again, and they have half the cast of SNL playing the cast of Cheers coming down. So you have the best one was Adam Sandler coming out as Rhea Perlman's Carla.
All right, this is just for Clay to get it out of his head. There you go, Clay.
Dude.
Oh, that's so I cannot wait. Oh my god,
dude.
Your Daredevil minute,
dude. And isn't that Bullseye in the background?
Yeah, that's a shitty Bullseye costume.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is up with that. Why that exists.
I think this is the first version of a costume.
I know, but like,
I almost thought that was the Ezekiel costume from Madam Web.
Except he's wearing shoes.
Which I'm sad that I missed out on the quick little spike of that comic to sell it off, because I have the Ezekiel first appearance, and I'm sure it spiked before Madam Web was released.
And that's J. Michael Straczynski creation. Yeah, because I have that whole run, the hardbacks, and I love that. I love Ezekiel in that.
All right, next up, people were just kind of hanging out Valentine's Day, getting ready to do whatever Valentine's Day stuff, and then Marvel just goes and like, hey, you guys want to know who's in the Fantastic Four?
Yes. Where's Doom?
They dropped this little. I didn't
read all this. Like, I know Pedro Pascal is Reed, but who are the other actors? I didn't get a chance to read the cast list.
Okay.
Yeah, Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby.
Okay.
And then we have where's the names of the people? Oh,
yes,
it's the guy from the Bear.
The Bear.
Ebon Moss Backrack is the Ben Grimm. So you can see him here. You can see a little, picture of him.
Before actor.
Yeah, and then we have
Joseph Quinn.
Joseph Quinn from, I think, Stranger
Things. Yeah, he's fucking great.
But now, who is playing Herbie? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Herbie fully loaded.
God, would that be too wild if they brought back Stan Lee voice and just had him use it as an AI to create
that might be too much. I don't know
if they got the permission from his family.
Have you seen the
but his family, have you met his family?
Yeah, have you met his daughter? Yeah, she's a little
but I think I don't know, but I like the cast. I think it's just a very interesting way to announce this, like a post on Instagram. That's where I saw it. Yeah. They just posted on Instagram about Valentine's Day, and then I was like, hold on a second, that looks like Pedro.
Yeah.
And then
to me, the best dynamic in here is Reed and Ben. Those are the two best actors, in my opinion, that I've seen them crank out incredible scenes and incredible moments. And so for me, the best part of Fantastic Four is seeing Reed deal with the fact that he could never cure Ben. And I want to see how that's affected their friendship. Now, we're seeing them as is. I'm assuming we get an origin story, or we get to just jump in like 10 years into the Fantastic Four, which appears from the aesthetics of that it's in the 60s or 70s.
I think it needs to be part. I think it needs to be half and half. I think it needs to be like maybe like we kind of the arrival of the Fantastic Four in the current age, but kind of show kind of how they started.
What they can do is like the whole film happens right in the 60s. And then somehow they get stuck in the negative zone, and then they come out very similarly to how they did Captain America, the first Avenger. He comes out, and at the end of the film, you're like, "Oh, we're in 2023 or 2023, whatever 2025, whatever year the MCU is currently on."
But how could Reed's mind of 1960 deal with the transition of technology to now.
Well,
and
I think in the negative zone, probably like he learned a lot of other kind of technologies, like maybe what's
He learned how to Google.
Annihilus technology or something like that,
Last
right?
Star on Island, yeah.
So like by the time he comes back to Earth, like this is all, nothing.
It needs to be, I think, because of their age, they need to have it where they're only gone for like maybe a couple of months or something, where like where time passes differently there.
Yeah.
So you're saying Uber Eats already exists in the negative zone?
By the way, I don't know if the Uber people are on strike, but if they are,
what if the Fantastic Four show up the way the Hulk did in Doctor Strange house, and he's just yelling, "Annihilus is coming! Annihilus is coming!"
What? And so you bring the Hulk. I'll say this, it better be a CGI Ben, because if they pull up the prosthetics, and I'm not hating on the guy Michael Chikos, but if it's all prosthetics for the thing, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, and it can't, and he has to wear fucking pants. Please.
no, give me the thing. Give me the full thing.
Well, I don't want to see the full thing. I don't want to see the thing.
You want to see a Rocky dong stick out. I'm just saying, but you still, it's just we don't even know if the thing actually has a dong.
Rocky dong.
Rocky dong.
It's like it's the new Kalima.
Oh dear God.
Rocky dong.
Rocky dong.
And we lost our viewership.
All right. Any last thoughts on Fantastic Four? Let me read this from Leonard Kim. I like the idea of Fantastic Four being from the same universe that Monica Rambeau got stuck in.
Interesting.
Oh shit,
that's interesting.
Do
you think we'll see this cast in Deadpool?
I don't think so.
No, too early.
We've seen the X-Men in there one time.
We might see John Krasinski again in Deadpool.
That's okay. One other thing I do want to bring up. If we do at some point see the Maker, it would be great transition to watch Pedro Pascal come in as Reed and become the Maker in this universe, because Pedro typically hasn't played a villain. And it would be great to see this villain.
You need a young. I mean, I know you could de-age him, but you need a younger actor playing the Maker. Because I mean, it's Reed was a teenager.
Okay. Hear me out. Miles Teller comes back.
No,
he's the Maker.
It's
that same Reed. Like things just kept getting worse and worse in that universe. He's lost everyone.
Yeah. I'm down.
I can see it. I can see
Miles Teller's a great actor.
I'm down for it.
But is he? I don't know. I like a couple of his movies, so maybe. But like, I want a fucking villain. Like, I need a hardcore villain.
Okay, then we get
Greg Abbott is.
We get what's his name from. He was a Green Goblin in the Andrew films.
Oh, I hate that kid.
Well, yeah, so you already hate him. Boom.
Oh,
no, but he did that Valerian movie.
I don't see him anymore.
He did that Valerian movie.
Leonard Kim, what's his name? I know you know Leonard Kim.
Yeah, but
really
he did
good
Chronicles, and Chronicles was really good, and he was great in that. So, but yeah, what would be kind of a cool Doctor Doom is you bring him in masked and you never show him, and then like maybe in the fourth film you reveal it's John Krasinski
or Miles Teller or the original Doom. What was his name? The one from
Kim is correct. Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan, yes,
and he is correct.
Dane DeHaan. Thank you, Leonard Kim. I knew
Leonard Kim is our man in the chair.
He's our micro.
Here's one. Since we're talking Fantastic Four, do you think the actor who plays Namor is going to have good chemistry with the actress who plays Sue?
That dude has good chemistry with everyone. Come on.
What happened? Because there were some allegations against him. What happened?
Yeah.
Do we know?
Yeah, I don't know what ended up happening there.
Sexual assault allegations.
Oh,
yeah.
Or going to start pending all the actors.
Yeah, not sure what happened there, but all right. The other thing we got, because like I said, Marvel was just like we were eating good.
Wow.
X-Men 97, we got a trailer. Y'all want to watch the trailer?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
All right. So I like that they started the trailer with like letting us know what happened at the end, because that's the part I don't really remember from the series.
Yeah.
Everything else
with the Shire to live.
Yeah. Are
you gonna do a rewatch, Daniel?
What's that?
I'm thinking about it.
Are you gonna do a rewatch? Who's gonna do a rewatch before? I kind of have to maybe.
I canceled Disney for now, so I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe I should go look for it on like half price or something. Just get the series.
Half price. Oh no! Hey! This weekend is President's Day sale at Movie Trading Company.
Oh, that's right. Oh, they closed the one by my house though. It's in like they're changing it to an entertainment now or whatever.
Where do you live, by?
In the Irving area.
Oh, okay.
They did open an Ollie's. They did open an Ollie's. So
the one by Irving Mall shut down.
It's like they're updating it to be their other brand, like Entertainment World or whatever.
Vintage style.
Yeah.
But that I've been to a couple of ones in Oklahoma. Okay.
All right. Well, Clay stepped away. He's coming back. I think he's coming back. So let me pull up. Hold on a second. Let me pull up the trailer and we'll take a look. We were almost gonna start without you, Clay.
I know my dogs needed to go out and they don't wait. They just bark at me.
I need to go out and I don't tell you anything. So, all right. Here's the trailer here's the X-Men 97 trailer.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
I will.
To have the chance to say goodbye. I am proud of you all, my X-Men.
Fate lies in our hands now. Now.
That's a really good transition.
We have to stay vigilant. The professor entrusted us with his dream.
No matter how dark
Are these all the original voice actors or no?
No, all except for Magneto.
I think Wolverine sounded a little off too. I know
it's him. It's him. Same guy.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, Bub, keep buzzing in my ear.
Heads up!
Oh,
That was so wild.
That's awesome.
We've never seen that in the comics.
No.
My X-Men.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Magneto.
The last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Everything he built now belongs to me.
That's so good.
So good.
So good.
And remember, the cartoon is the only story where the Dark Phoenix saga was told properly.
Yeah, it works. Because they gave it enough time.
Well, Daniel asked about Wolverine. No, it is still Cal Dodd is the voice actor to voice Wolverine.
Okay, he sounds a little different, but I mean, maybe his voice has changed too over the years.
Magneto's the only one. David Hemblin was the original voice actor for Magneto, which for Jeff and Clay might remember this. He was also Lord Dredd in the Captain Power TV series.
Oh God!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Captain what now?
Can we go back to Gambit charging Wolverine's claws?
That's awesome.
It looks cool, but doesn't that just mean his claws are going to explode at some point?
No, because it's adamantium. I think the energy around it will explode, but the claws will be fine.
And
if anything, his hands might blow off, but he'll regenerate.
I was I don't understand. It looks cool, but I don't understand the point because it's not like he can. It kind of looks like when Wolverine had the heat claws for a little while. So that's what I feel like they're doing, but I don't. I'm just like, but from a comic standpoint, I'm just like, what does it do though?
I thought they were trying to do a fastball special variant, like a new move with just these two. And I thought, what the hell would this be called?
I love the fact that Morph is using his face for the Exiles, not like the normal human face he had in that last episode.
Yeah.
The Raging Cajun, it's called, right? It has to be called the Raging Cajun. I think whenever I think whenever they get to the point, Wolverine will just like smack his claws together, and all that kinetic energy will.
Yeah. Well, that could be it. That could be it.
I mean, who does he need to hit that hard? I mean, shit, he's already got unbreakable claws. What the hell? Is he hitting Juggernaut?
Maybe. Well, no, that's when they're taking on the Sentinels. So he's probably gonna use it to like explode the Sentinels, their bodies and stuff like that.
Now, Jean's pregnant in this.
With
Um,
Cable or Rachel?
well,
Yes.
or is it Nathaniel or Nate? Like, which way are they gonna go? Is it gonna become X-Men, or is it gonna be like
I'm
because Cable is not Jean's kid. He's
Oh,
Madeline
yeah, you're
Pryor's
right. It is
kid.
Madeline. It is
Mhm.
Madeline. Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, they could change it for the cartoon because Nate Gray is their kid, the Jean and Scott's kid, right? And then he goes to be like a messiah for the X-Men or something in a different dimension.
Rachel's always been from another dimension, so I feel like what's going to happen is Rachel's going to show up while Jean's pregnant, and then she's going to give birth to a boy, and Rachel's going to be like, "Where am I? Like I should have been that child."
I have one small nitpick about this, as I was hoping, and I know Clay would probably back me up on this, just because we got the designs for him. I was really hoping we might see Nightcrawler as a member of the team too.
Yes, I hope so, or at least a guest appearance. They don't even hint at him.
More than a guest appearance, I want a recurring role with Nightcrawler.
Yeah. I mean, I know he didn't get much in there, and then also he didn't get much in Wolverine and the X-Men in that cartoon run. But at least he had an arc in there.
No, he had a long run in Wolverine and X-Men. But he didn't get the Wanda Kurt romance in there.
I'm glad Jubilee got a haircut. I love what she's one of my favorite characters. Like
I love Jubilee.
The Night of the Sentinel 1 and 2. Like it's just that those are episodes that are burned into my brain. The battle at the mall and all that. So
and now that they don't have to adhere to like the Fox standard of cartoons and could do them, how adult could these be? Are we going to have like Wolverine actually stabbing people?
Well, not even.
I think they'll still probably keep in the same spirit of the original cartoon.
Yeah, I think so.
And I wonder how many like actual like non X-Men guest stars we're going to get, because I mean we already know there are other superheroes in that universe.
Oh fuck yeah!
But I do wonder. Here's what I do wonder, because that first thing, the first animated series covered a lot of different like Days of Future Past and the Dark Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what stories they're going to get. That have happened since then. Are we going to see Age of Apocalypse? Did they do Age of Apocalypse back then?
You were going to. They hinted at if we got season 2 of Wolverine and X-Men, we would have got Age of Apocalypse. But no, they never did in the original series.
I wonder if I see that. Are we seeing any kind of Krakoa?
The TVA, the animated TVA.
The newspaper does say Hellfire Gala at the top, and then one of the headlines.
We had Hellfire in the original series.
But they throw Gala.
The gala will be the whole dress up thing.
So.
I mean, God, I think about that Fall of Mutants when they had the gala and how everything went to shit. What if that is their gala story? That would be amazing.
Oh, they could do a version of X-Men versus Avengers because they have all the properties.
Mutant Massacre.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
I mean, it does look pretty desolate. Whatever city that is, it does look like a really sad future.
New York City. I mean, it has to be.
Well, I thought the exterior shot looked like Madripoor.
Oh, it could be. It could be. It could be.
Well, our background is Madripoor from Shang-Chi. I mean, people can't see it, but I do change it. There is a reason, method to my madness. All right. Any last thoughts on any of these Marvel things? Because we're running long, and we're gonna skip recommendations this week. We're gonna close out with a surprise trailer. Maybe you guys have already seen it. All right. So. Last week,
I think I hope what it is. Yeah.
Last week we got bamboozled. After Kyle came back from Sundance, we were looking for a trailer, and then we got bamboozled into watching some Venom weird fake shit.
I saw this came out this week. I've not seen it yet. I'm excited.
This week, Bleecker Street dropped their official Red Band trailer for SASQUATCH Sunset.
Red Band.
So we're gonna watch that, and we'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll close out the show. So let's check it out. This is the film that Kyle walked out of 15 minutes into it. I don't think we'll see any of the X-rated.
That's the opening shot. We're walking across simultaneously.
This is the Red Band trailer, right?
It's still on YouTube though. And Kyle mentioned a lot of fluids.
Oh, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Oh my god. They look pretty good though. Like the
What the fuck? This looks like the Star Wars Christmas special with sex.
Where's the Kyle quote?
he's tripping a mushroom.
Oh. Yeah, straight up bit his tongue.
Come on, bro. Cover your mouth.
Oh god, it's going to theaters. Oh no.
I am weirded out by that, and I think I'm going to be a day oneer. I think I'm going to have to watch that.
I'm definitely taking some shrooms and going. You know, let's
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
And actually, like, really sit through the whole thing this time.
This is a pass for me, dog.
No,
You saw Madam Web.
yeah, you get the call.
I went to go see Madam Web, but I won't watch Sasquatch.
I'll say
It's
this.
just-
There's one great scene with one of the Sasquatches that he always tries to count. He's like, he's trying to count stars and trying to count leaves. And he always gets stuck on like 3 and has to start over again. And it's like, are you perpetually high when you're doing this? I'm like, oh.
I want Jesse Eisenberg to voice it like his character in the DCU.
I don't think they're gonna talk throughout this whole film.
No, they don't. I mean, they do the but there's
Yeah.
no talk.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
dear.
weird, and this is a
They
choice.
open up-
But
They
But
open
I would watch this in like, you know how Alamo does like especially in Austin, Alamo does these kind of
yeah,
crazy screenings. If they were to show this like in the hill country, like in the middle of the woods, like just put up a screen and then
Oh,
you just go and
yeah.
watch this almost like at a drive-in kind of scenario. 100%.
but I would be weirded out by the people who might be too into the Sasquatch sex.
Yeah. There was
And there also looks like a Sasquatch birth.
There was. I told you
There-
that. There's one- we left. That's like near the end of the film, but there was a shot of the baby there. I'm like going, oh.
There's a scene where there looks like one of them is just in the brush, like, you know, like going to town on himself.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
go
that's
back
good.
and watch the trailer, and it's like you just see the Sasquatch from the chest up, but like, you know, that face, and his hands are out of view.
Well, maybe he's washing dishes.
Also, why were they like? Do they like the skunk smell? I don't.
Yeah, yeah. But it's because that's the thing is, Sasquatch is supposed to have such a like a musty smell, like really stink. Because rumor is like they don't really bathe, so they have this like aroma.
Well,
We have
I'll,
just as many questions about this movie as we do about Deadpool. So
which Sasquatch do you guys want to show up in this film? That's what we want to know.
The one
does
from,
Wolverine show up
Six-
in the Sasquatch film?
$6
I will
million
say this.
man Bigfoot.
I'll say this, I wouldn't mind a Walter Lankowski cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Fuck,
Well-
I want an Alpha Flight cameo. Come on.
Oh,
Well, if you
more than an X-Men at 97.
Yeah.
yeah,
Fuck yeah.
that's a good. Or I mean, you could bring Alpha Flight. I mean, they're Canadian. They could be in Deadpool too. So
All right.
all right. Well, if you guys all watch that film, feel free to invite Jeff to the Squanching channel.
This
I'm
will
there.
be on our watch list. We need to
Oh,
bring
yeah.
the podcast back and finish this film so you can truly comment on it.
Oh dear God! Yeah, I'm gonna have to go
Alright.
see it. Why me?
All right. Well, that about does it for us this week. Thanks for everyone. You can stay tuned. We have a lot of fun stuff coming out, including maybe a comic creator. We'll give you more details as we wrap that up, get that secured and stuff. Yeah. Anything else before we get out of here?
I do have one thing, but I'm gonna wait till we're off camera.
Okay,
Future,
cool.
future something might came up in our.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Leonard Kim helping us out with the things that just escape our head. Dane DeHaan, sorry we forgot your name. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here, right now. Salute, mi familia. Salute.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Twitter loves you.
Oh yeah. Clay.
Hail Bebo.
Josh.
Simon Center, get the fuck out.